That music. Uh-oh. Oh, no, we just lost Peter. How are you, everybody? I think Peter just dropped off. We're going to get him back in a few minutes. There he is. Oh, my goodness gracious. Peter, what happened? You missed the big
I don't
intro. We
know.
did the
I don't know.
fireworks. We did the pyro, the dancing. We're not going to do it again.
It,
Okay. You missed it. I'm
it
so
went
sorry.
live, and then it said entering the studio. So I clicked OK, enter, and I got back in.
Technology. What are you going to
Yep.
do? But I want to address the elephant in the room already. Sue says it's snowing in California.
Yes. Yeah.
Sue, what is going on in California? Why is it snowing? I mean, it's cold here. You can see in Orlando, it's cold. I've got my long sleeve shirt. I'm sitting outside, so it's actually rather chilly here.
you need to expand upon that, Walter, and because I'm in Jacksonville, I'm only 2 hours away from you. So you need to explain to everybody what our definition of cold is.
Well, I am originally from New York, so I know the real definition of cold.
Yeah.
You have to go to school in Syracuse. But I'd say 70 degrees is cold in Florida. I see we've got Katie, we've got Cindy, we got JM, we got Larry, we got Sue. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining in. If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor. We like to get together on Thursday nights to talk either travel, cruising with some of our travel partners. And tonight, our very special guest is our good friend, Peter, from the Cruise RX channel. Thanks for joining in tonight, Peter. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Yeah, and if you're, make sure you are a subscriber. I mean, Peter, I think, has one of the fastest growing cruise channels right now on YouTube. What are you up to? Like
22,000, and we started in October.
See that? So that is a very fast growing channel. Congratulations, Peter, on all the success. That's absolutely amazing. And it is Cruise-RX.
Cruise-RX, yep.
Yeah, so make sure you go subscribe to that. And we are a very proud travel partner. So, Kathy. Oh, it's starting to snow in Rochester, huh? Okay, well, y'all should come down to Florida. That's all I'm going to say.
Disney World is open.
Disney World is open. Yes, there will be fireworks in just a little while for sure. Wow, it's 74 in Colorado though. So y'all that are getting snow need to go to Colorado apparently. That's amazing. So folks, I'm really thrilled to bring on Peter because he's really doing a nice job. He's bringing you cruise news, views, advice, and tips. So Peter, why don't you kind of explain who you are and what Cruise RX is all about?
Absolutely. So we started the channel, like I said, back in October. And it was because cruising had been a passion for us for many, many years. And we watched a lot of great YouTube channels, Walter's, your TikTok, and other YouTubers. And we thought, wow, let's combine what we like to do with a YouTube channel. And so, the thought was, well, it'll take, years to develop. And, we've got 22,000 subscribers, but that's still small compared to a lot of the people out there. So we're still developing it. And we wanted to just share our cruising experiences, news, tips, because we still make mistakes too when we cruise. And so we share that. We're brutally honest in our ship reviews. We don't get paid by the cruise lines to do videos. We pay for our own cruises. And so we just want to do that. And we enjoy making the videos. And the last cruise when we were on MSC Seashore, it was weird when people recognized the channel. So, that was kind of weird to, people coming up. So that was cool.
Get used to it.
So yeah, we love it.
Get used to it. I mean, you're delivering a lot of great information. I really love, if you haven't seen it yet, Peter did a wonderful piece on the glass ceiling at MSC that really resonated with a lot of people, right?
Yeah, mostly positive comments, some negative, but you have that in YouTube. But the story was we're on MSC Seashore, and we met a female crew member in one of the shops. I forget which one. And she recognized the channel. And so we were just chatting. And I said, well, the next cruise, we're going to be on Celebrity Beyond next month with Captain Kate. And I said, the first female captain in the cruise industry. And she said, her name badge said Italy. And she said, you'll never see a female captain on MSC because the Italian culture, men have to be in charge. And I thought, well, that's pretty sad, to be, a female crew member and then just have this impression. And I don't know if it's true. I mean, I didn't talk to MSC, but if that's the impression an employee has, that's not good. They should do a better job of communicating open, equal opportunity and if they want to do it. And so Captain Kate with her YouTube channel has done a great job. She does really good videos, and she's been doing the captain's log now every day. And it's a really cool behind the scenes of a cruise ship captain and how the cruise ship works. So if you haven't subscribed to her channel, I would do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, JN said he's going on the seashore in a couple of days. So, so you were just on the ship. So, I'm going to kind of jump ahead, but you were just on the ship. So any thoughts, on that ship?
The ship is, it's really a beautiful ship. MSC, it's a very clean ship. The Swarovski, did I say that right?
Swarovski crystals. I don't know.
Yeah. The staircases are amazing. And at night they're really cool because they light them up. Right. It's got a really nice atrium. It's got a great sports bar too.
Crazy sports bar, right?
Probably, one of the best ones I've seen. Yeah, tons of TVs. I wasn't a big fan of the casino just because it wasn't that big. That's and that's fine. We don't gamble that much, but other than that, we were in the yacht club, and that was fantastic. And the prices, I got to give a tip of the hat to MSC. The pricing is crazy good. And you know this. I mean, you see it. Crazy good pricing. And I mean, so it's kind of hard to, like I tell people, you may not get the best food, you may not get the best service, but it's kind of hard to argue with that because, like you said, the ships are beautiful. On that particular ship, the pools are amazing. They're huge. And entertainment's not bad. So the theater was nice. Theater is very nice.
Yeah. So Jan's asking about the food. I'll let you go first, and then I'll say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, we ate in a buffet just a couple times. We're in the yacht club, so we ate mostly in the yacht club. The food was good. It was not as good as Celebrity, but it was still good. So I'm not saying it was bad food by any means. Just Celebrity seems to have a little higher tier in food. It was good selection. The crew was great. Super nice. Oh, and then got my microphone.
Oh my God. He got so excited he took out the microphone.
I don't know if you can see this. I should have bought more.
Wow.
There you go. This is the MSC scent that they have on the ship. And listen, we bought 2. You call me crazy, but that's the best damn smelling thing. And they so I only bought 2. So JN, I might need to get with you to buy some more, and I'll pay you for them.
So what exactly is the scent? It smells like the ship?
Yeah, it's the scent that they have on the ship. But Walter, I know you think I'm crazy, but Walter,
you're crazy.
Yeah. I know this is YouTube, so you can't smell it, but it's really, really good.
Man, if I knew we were going this route, I might not have had you on.
I know.
I'm
telling you, we got one in our bedroom.
Ode icon. What is
Ode icon? Yeah. Well, JM, when you get on the ship in a few days, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll see those in the gift shop. So,
I know what you're talking. I didn't see them in the gift shop, but you're right. There is like a scent that they either pump into the ship.
They pump through the ship, and it's genius because it smells really nice. It's kind of tropical. I don't know. It's just a really nice, clean, and the private island, since we're on MSC, is very nice.
It's very nice. It's my favorite.
I know you've been there too. Yeah, I know you've been there too, and very nice private island. Yeah.
So my thoughts on the food are: you're not going to go hungry. You're definitely not going to go hungry, but you might not be, especially in the main dining room. You might not be excited about everything you get. I think the buffet, obviously that pizza is really, really good. And then there will be pockets of things throughout the buffet that will really surprise you. That will be really good. The one thing that it really doesn't have, say, compared to almost every other ship that you go on, it doesn't have like, oh, there's a quick eatery over here or there's a quick eatery over there. It's basically
Right.
the
Yeah.
buffet, the main dining room, and then the restaurants.
Yeah. Royal does a good job with those quick eateries.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
they really
know,
do.
so like early in the morning, you can go down to the promenade. And I know Mariner and the Oasis class, you've been on Icon. I haven't been on Icon, but they have Promenade Cafe. I forget what they call it, but it's just a quick place that you can
Yeah,
get
yeah,
pizza, breakfast, donuts
exactly.
really early.
Yeah.
And I was always surprised because I would shoot video, obviously in the mornings early, and go there, get coffee, and kind of figure out where I'm going to shoot. And there were always quite a few people there. And this
Yeah.
was at 5:30 in the morning.
Right. I can tell
So
you on
yeah,
Icon at 2 in the morning, there was a bunch of us hanging out at the Pearl Cafe. It was crazy. It was absolutely
was it
crazy.
okay? Yeah, yeah.
When are you going on the Beyond?
A month from today.
A month from today. Okay, because Rick says he's going to be on the 27th going to the ABCs as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Rick is getting on the Beyond.
Yep.
You're getting on the Beyond. I still have not been on the Beyond yet. We've got to go on there. I really. Stephanie said it is probably one of the best crew she's ever had on any cruise ship. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think
amazing.
Captain Kate has a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
She's a nice person. I think she treats her crew really well, and I think they enjoy working for her.
yeah,
So
and it shows.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, there's Tara. Hi, welcome to the show and welcome, Rick. Thanks so much for
Hello.
tuning in. Nurse Tara has been one of our fans right from the get-go. And man, I lose track of how many ships we've got her booked on right now. She's on so many cruises right now. So we have a lot of fun planning her trip. And she's even doing a vow renewal coming up soon, which is awesome. It's awesome.
Yes.
So
You're working on that for us too for next year.
exactly. Yeah, he has. We're going to be teasing a group cruise coming up soon with Cruise RX. If you want to go cruising with Peter and his wife, and who knows, Peter, now that you're kind of changing things around, maybe we'll actually be able to come with you this time. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So we've had some hot button topics that have come up, and I mean, there's like a ton of them, but I decided to pick two for tonight because there's been so much discussion online and social about these two particular topics. And the first one, because it really blew up, where was it, in Africa, that couple?
Yeah.
Or there was a bunch of people who didn't make it back to the ship on time. And their feeling from all the interviews I've seen is, they can't believe that a cruise line would leave them behind, not putting the passengers ahead of safety or whatever it was the person was saying. And, I've been cruising for a long time, so I know where I stand with that. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts about, should the cruise line have just sat there and waited for them?
No, and I don't. Yeah, maybe that comes across harsh, but the cruise line. I mean, before you get off the ship, they tell you, the all aboard time is X, and then that's what usually at least a half hour before departure.
Correct.
So you have a 30-minute built-in late window already, because they don't pull the gangway up until the line's going to be cast off.
Right.
So, I mean, I always book excursions through the ship. You and I talked about it before, and you had a good idea that if you book one but outside the cruise, then like book the first one in the morning. That way, if they are late, you have plenty of time.
Right.
If you book an excursion with the cruise line, they will wait for you. If it's late enough that they can't wait for you, then the cruise line will handle getting you back to the ship.
Right.
So you pay a little more. But I mean, because we've had some late excursions. We were in Puerto Rico and we were on a big bus and the transmission broke.
Oh, wow.
On the bus. So,
wow.
Yeah, but it was through the cruise line. So we ended up not being late anyway. But had we been late, they would have waited for us.
Sure. And I think a lot of people don't realize what the exact rule actually is. The rule is that the ship will wait for you as long as they possibly can. But there is going to be a point at which the ship has to go because it's got to stay on schedule. And if that happens, then it's on the cruise line to get you to the next port.
Yep.
To get you back to the ship. So one of the things
Yeah.
that you and I were talking about is, certainly I always tell my guests, we do about 75% independent, 25% through the cruise line. Most of what we do through the cruise line tend to be what we have to do through the cruise line for whatever reason. We can't do it independently. Our first rule is, one, you get the first one in the morning. Certainly,
Yeah, that
Rebecca
makes
does
sense.
a lot of research to make sure, because
Yeah.
you got to vet these people. The worst thing you can do is get off at a port and go right to a barker. The barker guys.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, come on,
Yeah.
come on. If you don't know, you don't know. And some of them are really, really good. Some of those are like the really good tours, but you got to know
Yeah.
which one. But then the other thing that a lot of people may not know about, we have two partners, Venture Ashore and Shore Excursion Group. Now, those are independent tour companies that work with independent tour operators all over the world. They both have return to ship guarantees that are pretty much the same as the cruise line, that if you don't make it back to the ship, both of these tour services guarantee that they will get you to the next port. And
That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, Shore Excursion Group even has a $1,000 guarantee. They'll pay you $1,000 per person if you miss the ship. That could pay for your cruise. That could totally pay for your cruise.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on that. Look, it is on you to get back to the ship. I mean, it's a well-known fact, before you get on the ship has a schedule, it has a timetable, and I'm sure the ship waited for some time. The ship almost always will wait at least a half an hour, even if it's not their tour, because they would rather get you back on the ship too.
Right.
But there's a point at which they got to go. And when they got to go, they got to go. And, you've got a ship of 2,000 or 3,000 people, and you're going to make them just sit there and wait because there's 10 people who couldn't get back to the ship on time.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't their fault, but you got to know these rules going in, that you got to be back to the ship. You can't be out there. And especially in like you and I both know this, you go to the Caribbean, there's traffic jams everywhere. So you got to go out early and plan to be back, like 3 hours before sail away. So if you are late, you got plenty of time. So
the closer the next port is, the more flexibility they have.
Correct.
Because, a lot of times, like when we've been in the Caribbean, they're doing 6 knots to the next port because it's so close, and they have to get there, in 10 hours. So they just go slow. So if they can increase speed to, they have that flexibility. If it's a further away port where they're almost at full speed to get to the next port, then they don't have much flexibility. They got to go. And if there's a tidal issue too in some ports. Yeah.
And that's another excellent point too. There are tidal issues. Now, this was in Africa, so I'm assuming this was not like the Caribbean, where they did have a long ways to go.
Yeah, they were tendered. So
and that's another big deal too. With tender, the last tender time is usually about an hour before sail away. So that cuts the time even shorter. So you really got to, when you're at a tender port, that's the most important thing that you need to know, is what time is the last tender, not what time is sail away.
And you need to make sure that your phone, because most people use their phone or watch, is on ship time. So before you get off the ship, just confirm the ship time and make sure that your watch or your cell phone or both match that time.
Yeah.
Because there have been people who have missed a ship because they thought they had an hour when they didn't, because their cell phone time was not matched up.
Yeah, what's really important, and I do this all the time, I'll switch this to manual mode. I'll just turn it off automatic completely.
Yeah.
And I will set the time, so the time will not change until I change it again.
Yep.
And that's another big tip too, is if this is going to be your watch, then it needs to stay accurate. But if you leave it in automatic, the minute you step off the ship, it's going to pick up the local time, and now you're screwed.
And that may not be the ship time. Yeah, that may not be the ship time. So
hey, Becky, how are you? Becky's got a great point. The Princess app will always show ship time. So even if you're off and about on the shore, you can bring up the app and you will see ship time on there. So that's a great point. That's a really good point there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and we've seen, multiple people who have missed ships, and they're blaming the cruise line, but ultimately it is in the cruise contract. Ultimately, it is your responsibility to make sure you get back to the ship on time. So it's a shame all of this happened.
Yeah, you feel bad for them
But
because that's not
yeah,
fun to go through. Yeah.
no, it's not fun. And
Yeah.
we always see the peer runner videos, and we kind of laugh at the peer
Yeah.
runner videos and stuff like that. And it kind of sucks, for those people because they didn't make it
Yeah.
back. But I, on the one hand, I do have sympathy. On the other hand, it's like you knew what time you had to be back. Don't push it. Don't ever push it.
Yeah. Well, I don't feel bad for the ones who missed the ship because they were so drunk they couldn't,
Yeah,
you see them stumbling down the pier, and I've seen plenty
yeah,
of those videos.
yeah.
But an honest mistake or an illness or something, you know,
Right, right.
sometimes things are, beyond your control.
Hmm.
So yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
and
feel
like
bad for those
traffic
folks.
jams, things like that, that is
Yeah.
beyond their control.
Yep.
But again,
Yep.
like we said in the beginning, if there's a tour that leaves at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. when we first arrive, that's the one we're going to be on just to get
Yeah.
back to the ship in plenty of time.
Yeah. Becky
Yeah,
made a good point. If the ship waits, it only encourages people to be late. Yeah, that's true. Some
that's
people are
very
under the
true.
impression the ship will wait automatically. That's not the case. Yeah.
That is not the case. No. If you are on a ship excursion, it'll wait up to a certain point. I mean, I
Yeah.
recall distinctly one cruise, there was 90 minutes that the ship sat there, but we were in the
That's a
Caribbean,
lot.
didn't
Yeah.
have far to
So it
go.
must have been a close port. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and but it wasn't a motor coach, but it was close to a motor coach. It was a lot of people who were on that cruise. And that's probably another reason why they waited because it was probably 30, 40 people that were on
Yeah.
that.
The other
But
thing
that,
that can happen too is if another ship needs that slip,
mm,
then the ship has to leave.
yeah, because there are
So they might
some,
not have
in the
access.
Caribbean where you come in 7 to 1, and then another one comes in 2 to 7,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yep. Especially like Cozumel, which is always a
Yes.
busy, busy port. So
That's a very, very
yeah.
busy port. Yeah, Nurse
Yeah.
Terror, the ship leaving me is my worst nightmare. We always get two
It's
hours.
mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
worst thing. Like, even if you just want to chill and relax back, because there's usually, especially in the Caribbean, there's always, that little port thing. You can sit at a bar, you
Yeah.
can sit and relax, but you're already there. So get
Yep.
back there before you do any more
Yeah.
chilling and relaxing, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, but ultimately, we feel bad for them, but ultimately, it's their responsibility to get back. It
Yeah.
is your responsibility to get back. And those tender ports, man, boy, they can really burn you if you don't pay attention to the last tender. Because, I mean, you could be standing there, the ship is just sitting there, but you can't
Yeah.
get to it because the
Yep.
tenders are already gone.
Yep.
So, oh my
What was
God.
interesting with these people in Africa, and I don't know the details, but apparently they were able to get the local Coast Guard to take him back to the ship, which was still at anchor, is my understanding. But the captain wouldn't let him board. I don't know why the decision was made not to let him board. That part I'd love to hear
Hmm.
about. Haven't been able to find out. Maybe I don't know if anybody in the chat knows that part of the story.
I haven't heard
Um,
that part. Yeah. I
yeah,
wonder if the ship was closed up already and they didn't want to open it back because, there is that
yeah,
tender dock that comes open, if you will.
right. Yeah, they lower that, the
Yeah,
panel
the whole
down where the
side.
tender
Yeah.
ties up to, and then it may have been closed. And maybe the crew members had already left that area, secured it and left, and were doing other work, so there was nobody there to open it. I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I don't know what the story is. So
That is very interesting. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, it would be interesting to hear the rest of that.
yeah, yep,
Wow, that's something that the Coast Guard actually brought him back out. I'm surprised. I'm really
yeah. I don't
shocked
know
they
how
did that.
how they made that happen, but yeah,
Must have been the port agent that made that happen. Because there is a port. So that's
yeah,
something everybody should know too. If you are stranded, there is an agent at the port who can be in contact with the cruise line and help try to figure out where you need to go, what you need to do, and things like that. So,
yeah. Because the cruise line's going to go in your cabin and look for your passports and give them to
mhm.
the port agent, so you have your
Right.
passport.
Right, right, right.
So
Hey, Desiree, how you doing? Thanks so much for joining in. Appreciate it. If you're just tuning in, I am Walter, your independent travel advisor with Where's Walter Travel. We've got a very special guest, Peter, joining us from the Cruise
hello.
RX channel. We are a proud travel sponsor, or travel partner, I should say, with Cruise RX. So anytime we get a referral from Peter, it helps to support his channel, which is a
Yep.
good thing. Desiree, thank you so much for the super sticker. You are so incredibly kind. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We always appreciate every little bit counts. It really does. Rick even saying he tries always try earlier better, even on the ship tours. You get nerves from your Navy time. So I love this. You're going to love this, Peter. He served on the USS Constellation, and he wants to go on the Celebrity Constellation because he thinks it would be kind of fun to be on the same ship.
That'd be cool. Now that would be a great Facebook photo, right? A side by side on the Navy ship Constellation,
right?
Maybe and then on the cruise ship Constellation.
Maybe we should make it a group cruise. Who knows? We all go on the ship with Rick. That would be kind of fun. That would be kind of fun. I love that, Rick. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a client. All y'all, thank you so much for being clients. We're just so excited. If there's anything we can do, you can see the graphics are right there next to Peter. Where's WalterTravel.com. Just reach out anytime. We're actually, I know, it's the opposite way. You think
it's
you're
the opposite,
I
know, yeah.
We were doing that last week.
I'm pointing at a wall over here, but it looks like I'm pointing at the graphic. Yeah.
But yeah, so if there's anything we can do, like we're working with Peter right now, we're setting up a big group cruise for him on the Celebrity Beyond, it sounds like, or a celebrity ship. It'll be a celebrity ship.
We're still trying to bang around the itinerary and,
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So the next topic, and, being a veteran cruiser, I'm like, what's the big deal? But itinerary changes, either before the ship sails, once the ship sails. Now sometimes it's very obvious, right? There's weather. There's a mechanical issue. But then other times it's cruise line's not even going to tell us why. They made a change and they made the change. And I can tell by a lot of the reactions on social media, people have not read the contract. I mean, who reads a contract, right? But it is in the cruise contract that a cruise line can change a port at any time. And like when Rebecca and I find out about a port change, we're like, okay, port change. So we're either going to be at sea or we're going to be at a different port. It's no big deal. It's a part of cruising. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm super flexible on it. We've had it happen. It never bothers us. The times it has happened, there was an explanation. The most recent was because of COVID. So this was 2 years ago, I think. And 3 people on a ship got sick from COVID, which is not a lot when you're talking about the size of the ship. And we were on our way to the Bahamas. The Bahamas would not let us dock because 3 people got COVID. So we went to Costa Maya instead, which was fine. I hadn't been to Costa Maya, so I was like, okay. And it worked out great. And they scrambled to put together excursions and all that. And what happens can be weather. Watching Captain Kate's videos, there's been a couple instances where she had to cancel the port because it was too windy to dock and it turned into sea days.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the winds she said were over 40 knots, and a cruise ship is just a big wall. So that much wind is going to make it unsafe to dock. So,
right.
I'm sure some people were upset, but you go into it knowing, hey, it can happen. And just roll with the punches. They're not doing it intentionally just to mess with your vacation. There's a reason for it. So
even if they don't want to tell us what the reason.
Yep.
And I always tell people, if Grand Cayman is going to ruin your vacation if you don't go, then just fly. Go there. Just go there.
Yeah.
Enjoy Grand Cayman, because Grand Cayman is not guaranteed on any itinerary. Nothing is guaranteed on any itinerary.
Right.
So yeah.
And especially with us here in Florida, especially with us in Florida and hurricanes, because you were on one cruise coming back, and weather didn't it change your arrival time, right?
No, we were on the Celebrity Equinox, and we left Miami 3 days before Hurricane Irma hit St. Thomas, like one of the biggest Cat 5 hurricanes in history, and it changed our entire cruise. So we just went south to Curacao, got under the storm, and then basically followed the storm back. And of course, if you know anything about hurricanes, the weather is amazing once the storm moves through. So we had some of the best weather we've ever had. Glass, calm oceans. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's weird after a hurricane how the ocean's so calm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like glass. And so it was absolutely beautiful. And ironically, we only missed 2 of our stops. Even with that hurricane coming through, we still were able to hit
Yeah.
almost every one of our stops, just in a completely different order. Everything got changed around because obviously.
Yeah.
And, it's one of the things that I talk about because, some of my clients are like, oh, I really don't want to go during hurricane season. And it's like, well, always remember that ships can move, islands can't. So, I mean, there have been some ships that kind of got caught on the edge of a storm or a little closer than they should have been. And yeah, it got a little rocky, but it's nothing like being in the eye of a storm, like actually being in the middle of it.
No, and because hurricanes are so predictable and you have so much notice that
Mm-hmm.
you'll know way in advance if your departure is going to be delayed. I mean, you'll know a couple days before where the ship might be a day delayed or something. So you're not going to show up at the port and them just surprise you with, we got a hurricane and, so.
Yeah. Technically, so the question, what months would you avoid because of hurricanes? Well, for me, none.
Right.
Our anniversary is in September, which is right in the middle of hurricane season. So we're always cruising during hurricane season for almost 20 years now. But technically June through November? Is that
June
it?
through November and probably August through October are the busiest months for hurricanes.
Yeah. So, but like Peter just said, we have a lot of advance notice. So really where a hurricane impacts a cruise is if it's going to hit the home port. That's
during
where it really creates a problem. Yeah, because then the ship can't get exactly because the ship can't get in. If the ship can't get in, they can't get off the ship. Actually, that's like a dream of every cruiser to get free because if you're stuck on the ship for a day or two, it's free cruising, people. They don't charge you for the
announcement. The cruise is going to be extended a day. I'd be tickle pink. I'd be totally fine with that.
I know. 20 years now, we haven't had it happen. We're dying for this to happen. But those people who are on the ship get free cruising.
Yes.
Because they don't charge you for the extra days. You still pay for everything on the ship, but your room is free.
Yeah. And your drink package still works.
I know. It still works. So free cruising is great. But like you said, the worst of it would be like August through October, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Irma hit, I think, in August, September. I remember. So
yeah. But yeah, no, it's not a hurricane season is not to me that big of a deal because the ships are so good at handling it today. And we do have such good weather for. I mean, the real problem is those like in December, we had a lot of like really freaky weather that just suddenly like popped up with severe winds and things like that. That's actually weirder and more of a problem. So, Nurse Tara, the only way itinerary change would upset me is if they said we're taking you back to work. That would be hilarious.
That's a good point.
Everybody, go back to work. That's really.
I would just text my boss and say, "Hey, sorry, stuck in the ocean. Talk to you later." Bye.
Exactly. That's so sorry. Not coming back ever. That's good. But thank you for the question. That's a good, I get that question a lot, with her. And I talk to a lot of my clients about hurricane season too. It's like, I'm really nervous about it. It sounds like it's bad. And, when we went out on the Equinox, my whole family's like, wait, what? Isn't that storm like right where you're going? It's like, Why are you getting on the ship? Because the ship isn't going to go there. The ship's going to go somewhere else. Well, where's the ship going? I don't know, but it's going to go somewhere. And that's what happened. The ship went somewhere. We got away from the hurricane and we had a great cruise. It was like 10 or 11 nights. It was amazing.
And Equinox is a beautiful ship. I love that ship too.
She's a beautiful ship. And we almost got a free day because Port Miami was closed until about 10 hours before we came in. We were all hoping, like everybody on the ship was like, stay closed.
Yeah. Yep.
It was open until they brought us in. So we had to get off the ship. That was so rude. So rude of the Port of Miami to reopen.
Terrible.
Anyway, all right. So, folks, if you're just tuning in, I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all that. Let YouTube know you like what we're doing. Tonight, we're having a little fun cruise chat with our friend Peter at Cruise RX. Make sure you subscribe to Cruise-RX for news and views and reviews and all kinds of tips. So you're doing a great job, Peter. You really are doing a great job.
Appreciate it.
So let's just kind of run through some of our other stuff. So who have you sailed so far? And what are some of the ships that you've enjoyed?
We have the ships. Well, we've sailed Royal Caribbean and Celebrity and MSC,
Mm-hmm.
and for a total combined of what, 15 cruises, I think.
Nice.
I got all the ship models back here. Favorite ships would be for Royal Caribbean, Mariner of the Seas. It's not Oasis class, it's Voyager class, but I just love that ship.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a super nice ship. Celebrity will be on Beyond. We've been on Equinox, which is Solstice class, and just a really nice ship. A really nice ship.
Beautiful.
And then MSC, we've just been on the Seashore, but it's one of their newer ships, and that was a really nice ship.
Yeah.
But this Beyond will be our second Edge class. We've been on the Edge. We did the Mediterranean on the Edge, which is the first of the class.
Mm-hmm.
And so this would be our second. We really like the magic carpet on that ship. That's a unique feature, yeah. And that is a cantilevered platform, I guess, that goes up and down on the side of the ship.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you can't miss it. It's that big orange thing on the side of the ship.
But you've been on many more cruises. Do you have a favorite ship of all the cruises?
Oh my God. Everybody asks me that all the time. It's like, no, I have a favorite cruise. Yes. Alaska. I have a favorite cruise.
Done that.
Hands down. Hands down, Alaska was just, and I cannot wait till next year, when we get back up there, because that's going to be a totally different experience this time doing it with Oceania. But that was, so it's my favorite for two reasons. One, because you've been up there. It's like it's a mind-blowing experience almost, because you can't describe how big and how beautiful and what it really looks like. Like I look at my pictures and I'm like, it doesn't do it any justice.
No, the other reason, you have to be, yeah.
And then the other reason is my dad's last vacation. So
okay.
That always kind of puts it in a sweet spot there. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my favorite cruise. Other than that, I mean, we've done 4 of the Solstice class. Absolutely love those ships. Love Virgin Voyages. They're just so fun.
Yep.
And then doing the Serena with only 650 people, that was so freaking cool. That was so freaking cool. So I like ships. I love cruise ships.
Yeah, we like cruising because people ask, why do you cruise so much? I guess it's because you feel disconnected when you're on you have Wi-Fi, so you can stay in touch. I mean, if you need to, for work, emails, you can make cell phone calls, you can do all that. Right. But the favorite thing is leaving, departure day, leaving the port and kind of leaving all the mishmash of daily life behind. And then you're heading out into open ocean. And so, in some videos, we get, and you've seen comments, I've had people comment, I would never go on a floating hotel. And I reply back and say, well, then why the heck are you watching a YouTube video on cruising? So, but it's just super relaxing. And in Alaska, I remember we left Seattle, and then the next morning, woke up, opened the drapes, and it was an iceberg going by. Not a Titanic iceberg, but there was an iceberg, and I thought, wow, that is pretty cool. To see an iceberg going by. So it was just amazing. It was a great cruise. It definitely a cruise everyone should go on. You've got my brother-in-law going in June. You booked him that cruise. Yeah, I do, and we've got a whole bunch of people coming with us next June. In fact, he considered that one at first, and he's like, "No, we're going to go this year. We're going to do it." But Alaska is one of those that everybody should do once. And that's the whole point, the floating hotel. And it's not a floating hotel. I always tell people it's more like a Las Vegas resort, because a Las Vegas resort has everything under one roof. Then you got the pools and all that. But that's the whole point. You wake up and your hotel is in a different place. That's so cool. That's the best part. And you don't have to pack and unpack. Right. And it's just, and I think most of the time when people, if they complain about cruising, I don't think they've ever been on a cruise. And if they were, then it was probably a bad cruise. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's always it's always the people that I've never been on a cruise. It's horrible. You should agree with me. It's like, well,
yeah,
if you've never been on one, how can you comment on it? Or, I went on one 20 years ago and it was awful. Oh, yeah, because
yeah,
nothing's changed in 20 years at all.
right, exactly right, yeah.
You know,
So yeah, anyway, we just find it super relaxing that all our vacations are cruises. We just pick different places, and we did flew into Barcelona,
nice.
and that's when we did Edge, and went to France, Italy, and Spain, and that was an amazing cruise.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's a great way to see the world. I mean, literally, I don't know if there's many places that you can't go in the world on one, except for safety issues, obviously, like right now with the Red
yeah,
Sea. But there are not very many places you can't go either on an ocean or a river or an expedition ship.
hmm,
You can get to a
yeah,
lot of places around this globe. And some people say, well, you're not going to see much. Well, and like over in Europe, yeah, a lot of the cruises are, you kind of bounce in, you get to see a little something, something. And I'm like, yeah, but it kind of shows you where you're going to want to go back to. You get the little highlights of Europe, and you're like, man, I really want to come back here. And then we send you back there, or you add on a land tour after the cruise, and then you go back in there. But it's a great way to see the highlights of things.
yeah. And one of the things on our list is to do a and probably after this anniversary cruise that we're doing next year is a river cruise in Europe. So maybe like Viking or another cruise line like that, and do a river cruise,
Maybe we'll
small
all go
ship.
together.
Yeah, that's on the list, and I have some friends that have done it and loved it, and so we definitely
Yeah,
want to try that out. Yeah,
absolutely. And Rick
yep,
said, cruising, be connected as you want to be. And Tara's saying,
yeah,
I love to disconnect.
yeah,
I mean, that's the beauty of it today. Like somebody like me, I have to work and I can, because of all the connectivity. And I think if people think I'm nuts, but it's like the best work from home ever because I got my coffee shop. I can go get breakfast. I can go dip in the pool, take a little break, right? And then at the end of the
yep,
day, I can get my drink and I can go up to see the theater show. And what an amazing work from home location, right? Right?
yep, yeah, yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well, now this is a tough question, Brookie. What is the best Western Caribbean for an older couple? I mean, okay, just throwing that out there, there are probably 60 or 70 ships that I could put you on. Just thinking off the
Yeah,
top of my head, between Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, um, things like that. So, and then it's, well, how long do you want it to be? Where do you want to go? Like some of those Western Caribbeans actually include like the Panama Canal, like you go in and you come back
hmm,
out of the Panama Canal. So, and an older couple, I mean, I sent older couples on Virgin Voyages and they loved it. I mean,
yeah,
so if you're traditional older, right, and it's like, well, I want it to be a little bit quieter and more laid back, then maybe, Princess, Holland America are always two great cruise lines. Princess probably does more westerns, and Celebrity would be another good one too, for sure.
yeah.
But Virgin Voyages be great. What do you think, Peter?
Our last celebrity cruise, I think there were only like 5 kids on the ship. So,
Hmm.
um, if you don't want a lot of kids because they're going to be running around doing all that, then avoid Royal Caribbean
No
would be
offense
my
to those of
main
you who
advice.
have kids. We just don't want them on the ship. Thank you. Just
Right, right. I mean, yeah, we love kids, but if you don't want to be, and we do a bunch of Royal Caribbean cruises, and it's no big deal. But if you want to avoid kids, then you don't go in Royal
yeah,
Caribbean because there'll be a bunch of kids because they cater towards that market. And they do a
exactly.
great job at it.
Yeah.
Celebrity by nature has things for kids to do, but not like Royal.
No.
And so it's more of an older crowd
Hmm.
and a quieter cruise, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And then Holland
So
America, very
Holland
traditionally.
America, Princess, like you said,
Hmm.
and Virgin is only over 18 anyway, so
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
yeah.
So yeah, it's so you're both in your 60s and your wife wants to hold a slot. So my wife, yes, that is the Baden, Bodden. That's the tour that we went on, where yes, we did zip lining and hold a slot, but you don't have to do the zip lining. But You're in your 60s. I mean, I would be looking at Virgin Voyages, Celebrity, Princess, and Holland America. I'd be looking at all 4 of those cruise lines.
That's funny. This comment from T. Brookie, because my wife is out there keeping our Yorkies quiet, and we have to book her. She wants to hold a sloth too. So that is on. We did monkeys. We went into Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, and they had this. You go in with spider monkeys, and it was really cool. They're all climbing all over you. Now she wants to hold a sloth too. So that's on the list. We're gonna book it. So, and I think that's Honduras is one place you can do it. I don't know. We have
Roatan is where we did it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's funny. She wants. I'll mention that comment to her when we get done.
Hey, Brookie, if you want to reach out, where's WalterTravel.com? There's links in the description. Our services are 100% free, so we'll be glad to help you find the right ship, and we'll make sure that you have sloths to grab onto for sure.
Yeah, it's important to people. I think people should know that the cruise lines pay Walter, and whether you book on a cruise line website or you book through Walter, you're going to pay the exact same fare. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the exact same. But then you get someone like Walter, all the experience. I know a lot about cruising, but Walter books our cruises. So it's always great to use someone like Walter to do that, because you get that knowledge, and he's been on so many cruises. So I know I'm not trying to make this commercial, but if somebody wasn't sure,
keep going. I'm enjoying this.
Nice. It is truly absolutely free to book a cruise with you. It's not a gimmick. It is 100% free.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, most of the times our prices are exactly the same. Sometimes we have groups, group pricing that we can have access to. Sometimes we have extra perks we can give you. I think our biggest strength, obviously we do know a lot about the ship, but it's our connections with the cruise line. So when something goes sideways, we have somebody to call. We actually have somebody to talk to. So, thank you, CJ. Yes, tips for travelers. Gary Bembridge, who is like the godfather of cruising on YouTube.
I know Gary. Yeah, I know his videos. Yep.
We've become pretty good friends over the past few years. And yes, just so thankful to him for his support. He's recently started giving us some shout outs. That just blew my mind when Gary's like, do you mind if I give you some shout outs? I was like, no. Go right ahead.
No, do not mention my name. Yeah.
No, he's like, I've been following you and I really like what you're doing, and I love what you're doing. And he said, I've been getting some feedback from some people hearing about you. So I'm like, okay, thank you, Gary. It was very nice. Kathy, so right about checking out places to see where to return on a longer period vacation. Yeah, that's the beauty of cruising, right? You get to hit a lot of things. Oh my God, look at Kathy's next comment. You went on a Nile River cruise while in Egypt. And it was awesome. Egyptologist was fantastic. Do not go in June, July, and August unless you like.
Good point.
Good point.
Yeah, we did Europe in July and it was really hot. So
we try to target like May, maybe going into June, and then like getting into September, like before the ships start leaving, September, October. We've had some clients that actually line it up where they're on the last cruise and then they come back, with the ship, which is a lot of fun, right? So I mean, it is, look, cruising is not for everybody, but it's a fun way to travel. And what I don't understand is why people have to disparage cruising just because you don't like it. It's like, okay, fine, go do what you want to do. If you don't want to get on the ship, that's fine. But don't tell everybody else how bad it is.
Right. And some people love RVing. I've never done it. I would try it, but I don't watch YouTube videos on it just because I'm not into it right now. But I'm not going to go watch some videos and put comments in there that I'm not going to go in an RV.
Yeah.
So,
Which, by the way, that is one of I would like to drive across the north and then come back across the south. And it'll take like 3 months. I would love to do that sometime.
Yeah. Route 66, but that kind of cuts through. Yeah. That would be a great trip.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to have the soundtrack of Cars on the whole time that we're going through there.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something fun. Oh my God, Peter, we've been talking almost an hour already. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Man, you and I. By the way, folks, this is me and Peter on the phone. Peter and I talked for like an hour on the phone before we realized we're done.
I've got a topic. Maybe you want to talk about sweets versus no sweets?
Hey, let's do that. Are they worth it? So Peter and I were talking about. So you were talking about the yacht club earlier. So that's the ship within the ship experience. We've got the Haven on Norwegian, ship within a ship. Celebrity has the retreat, and almost every ship has suites, which are upgrades. And I know you talked about this recently, but yeah. So and a question I get, in fact, I was just talking about this to somebody the other day about mini suites, and a regular balcony cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Are the suites worth it?" And so, Peter, you go.
Yeah, we always book suites, and partly because we try and do videos on suites. So we like to compare MSC versus Celebrity versus Royal, the suite experience. And yeah, they're more money. They're not. We haven't booked any crazy expensive ones. But MSC really was a good price for the yacht club. I mean, it was a really good price.
Man. I mean, it's like the price of a junior suite on Royal Caribbean, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I will say this, just as far as the pricing, the Beyond cruise we have coming up, the suite for the same month, well, next month, same 7 days on Icon, their suite was $10,000 more than on the retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And Icon's a brand new ship, beautiful ship. So people are paying it, so they're getting it. That's free trade.
Yeah.
But the experience in Celebrity, the way they do the retreat is much better. We've stayed in suites on Royal. While it's nice, not quite as good as Celebrity. And I will say this too: once you do a suite, that gummit, it's hard to not do it because then you know what you get, and it's just a nightmare from that standpoint because when you're booking, but it's just a great experience. And MSC, the facility was awesome. The yacht club, it was secured, separated, private elevators,
right,
first class job.
Yeah. And you actually get more with yacht club than you do with the Haven, in terms of the perks.
That's what I've heard. I haven't been on Haven yet, but that's what I've heard from several people. Yeah.
And yet you pay a lot more for the Haven than you do, but
yeah.
I mean, I get that other argument. Well, I'm never going to be in the room, but I'm betting that when you have a suite, you probably do spend a little bit more time in your room, don't you?
Yeah, because when we booked like an MSC, we booked on the starboard side because I did some research and saw that they dock on the starboard side at the private island, and we watched fireworks show right from our balcony. And so it was great, and we had a view of the island the whole time. So, and we would do the pool, but you know what? You get tired during the day, you may want to change. So you go back to the room and you have to relax. And so, if it was a 3-4 day cruise, maybe, if it's that quick, you're not going to be in the room a lot, but on a longer cruise, you are going to spend more time in the room.
Yeah. No, I love my morning coffee out on the balcony, but what I
in the room service.
Room service. But what I really love is at night, just the stars.
Yep.
Because the top of the ship tends to have a lot of light on it, whereas your balcony, you can just turn the lights out and it's black and you look up and boy, after about 5 minutes and your eyes adjust, you're just like, oh my God, I can see like everything.
Yeah, we were on one of our first cruises. We were on our balcony and we saw a light in the sky and it was moving. For a second, we were convinced we saw a UFO, and then we realized, no, we're looking at a star and it's the ship that's moving. So, yeah, I haven't met. You're not going to hear that in a YouTube video. So,
you just said it in a YouTube video, my friend.
You're right. Yeah, you're not going to hear it on Cruise RX in a YouTube video.
No, but it'll be on my TikTok tomorrow. Trust me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we realized, it was the ship that was moving.
So far, you haven't been on Beyond yet, but comparing the suites that you have booked so far, like, do you have a favorite? Is there one you really want to go back to?
Harmony of the Seas.
Yeah,
Royal Caribbean. Yeah, really? That was a super nice, huge bathroom, 2 closets. You could separate the bedroom area from the living room area. which is great because I get up early to go film.
Hmm.
And so I could, turn the lights on, but not disturb Barb.
Right.
And had a bar area, big couch, huge balcony.
Nice.
So of all the suites on all the ships, Harmony, and then Equinox after that. And that was an aft cabin, aft corner. So those are really
love those. Love those.
Aft corner.
Yeah.
And then I guess MSC after that. The MSC cabin was very nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
My favorite so far has been the Cheeky Corner Suite on Virgin. The aft wraparound on the side.
And so we had, Yep.
Yeah. And I love the fact that Virgin literally only has 3 suites across the back on every deck. That's it. 3 big
that's nice. Yeah.
on the back.
Yeah.
And so we were up on deck 12. We had a 520 square foot balcony, which was insane.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So that's been my favorite so far of any cabin that I've had so far. Now on the Sun Princess, which is coming up in October, we have a cove balcony, and I'm really excited about this one.
What's that mean? What's that?
It's down by the waterline. We're underneath the lifeboats, but we have a balcony.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you look at
cool.
the Carnival XL class. In fact, I think it was the Vista class that actually introduced these, but they're literally like on deck 5 or 6, like
that's right near the waterline.
Yeah. When we got off the Carnival Mardi Gras in San Juan, like we came off on that deck, and I looked to my left and my right. I'm like, oh my God, these are balconies. I want to stay in one of these balconies. And so on the Sun Princess, we're going to be in a cove balcony just because.
That's great. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
So and gosh, we really are coming up on an hour. So let's talk about so we got a lot of ships coming out. I mean, there's like 75 ships on order, 76 ships on order right now. What is a ship that you have not been on that either is coming out or is already out, and you really like, I really want to get on this ship?
Utopia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd like to get on the Utopia. Isn't that launching in September? Am I right about that?
No,
September, October?
July, I think. I think it's July.
Is it July? Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was this summer. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I think it's July.
Yeah, I want to get on Utopia.
Really?
So, yep. Want to check that out.
Well, I want to compare it.
And I wouldn't mind checking out one of the new Carnival XL ships.
Oh, you haven't been on one yet?
Nope.
Oh, they're great.
They're
really great. They really did a nice job with the whole Serenity thing up front. They really did. The only thing that's weird is I'm going to be real curious to see if ships 4 and 5, if they do something about that secondary theater that they have, because the seating is horrible. The way it's set up, the theater itself, the thing is really nice, but the seating is so bad. I'm going to be real curious if ships 4 and 5 fix the seating arrangement.
They probably would if they get feedback from it. It's probably something they would address, I would think.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Here's another ship. I want to get on the Firenze, and I'd like to get on the Venezia because they look so cool.
Yeah.
They look to me, they look like adult Carnival ships.
Yeah.
They look like.
And it's good to hear that there's 76 ships on order, because the more ships out there, the better the cruise lines are doing, the better for us, the people that like the cruise.
Yeah.
So the more competition you have, it helps keep the prices within reason.
I swear MSC has like 25 of them. They have so many.
Yeah, they're really, Yep.
They're coming on strong. And that I don't know if you saw the announcement. They announced that World America has all I don't think they're neighborhoods, they're zones. I can't remember what they call them. But they have like 7 different sections. The World America.
They made it like Oasis. It's kind of like Oasis a little bit.
Basically, it's got the split aft on the back,
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's going to be the first one that has a comedy club because it's built specifically for Americans. So it's going to be interesting. I never realized they never had a comedy club on any of their ship, but that's, I guess, something that only Americans like. Apparently, I don't know.
I like a good comedy club.
Rick has I'll tell you, Rick, I cannot wait. I really desperately want to get on the Treasure. It looks like such a beautiful ship. Such a beautiful ship. Have you done Disney? Oh, you haven't done Disney yet, huh? We got to get you on Disney.
No, but Disney doesn't have casinos.
It does not. So you're just going to have to deal with it.
Okay.
It's got some of the best food, some of the best service, some of the best
The ships
shows.
are beautiful. I've watched videos on them. They are beautiful.
I'm telling you, my friend. Let's all go on the treasure together. I will introduce you to the wonder that is Disney without a casino.
Okay.
Hey, look, Viking doesn't have one either. You going to go on Viking Ocean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, yeah, because of River Cruise.
See,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if you're going to go on Viking,
issue,
surely you go on Disney.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about that though, Walter, is that we're alone gambling. I mean, we might gamble a few $100 during the whole cruise, and that's it.
Yeah.
But we like the fact that it's we can go hang out, maybe play, $40 at a time, and
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, and Celebrity and Virgin are the two that have non-smoking casinos, which I do appreciate a lot.
Yep.
A lot. But yeah, so I used to work for Foxwoods Resort Casino, and what that taught me was don't ever go to a casino. The house always wins.
The one in Connecticut? That one?
Yeah,
I've been there. Yeah.
I built their whole media department, and that taught me don't ever play. Because all these people are like, oh, I get a free cruise from the casino. It's like, you didn't get anything for
you
free.
Paid for that.
You paid for that. You just don't realize it because cruise lines don't give anything away. They really don't.
Yeah. And
I mean, look at the perks, right? Loyalty program perks. And yes, I'm getting free internet. Yeah, well, you probably paid $150,000 to get to that free internet. So
they didn't build those massive casinos in Vegas by giving money away all the time.
No, they don't give it. Oh, I'm going to get a free suite for the day. Oh, yeah. Well. All right. So on that, Peter, wow, we've talked for an hour. We barely talked about
been great.
Everything we're going to talk about, man. If anybody has a last minute question, we'll get it. But Peter, as always, it's a pleasure getting you on here. One of these days, we're going to do this together. Actually together.
You're only a couple hours away, so we could easily make that happen.
Well, and we should do it on a ship for sure. I wish you were coming with us in June. Come hop on the Valiant Lady with us for 4 nights.
I know, but we got May, and so we still work full time too.
It's not an excuse, my friend. I mean, that's May. This is June.
If I could
totally
do it,
different month.
I know. Hey, I'd be totally fine cruising once a month. I'd be totally good with that.
And we didn't even talk about Margaritaville. How you and I are both actually excited about the newly being rebuilt company, and this Islander is looking like it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
They have the chance to go from the absolute worst cruise line in the industry to a superstar, which is awesome to see. So.
They do. I think it's going to be a heck of a group cruise line, like a bunch of friends getting together, going out. And now they're introducing 7-nighters coming in 2025. I mean, it's a game changer for them. 7 nights.
Yeah. Going in the Caribbean on a Margaritaville themed ship. I can't think of anything more iconic than that. So.
If they get the hotel operations fixed, or they get the food going.
Yeah, that's the thing. They make it like a resort, they're going to have a winner.
They're going to, because the Margaritaville resorts are beautiful. And that's the other thing too, like with MSC, if MSC ever gets their hotel and food operations, say like to where Celebrity is, my gosh, they are going to be a force. They will be.
They're not there yet, but if they get there, you're exactly right about that.
They will. Hey, good night, Rick. Thanks so much for tuning in. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Just remember, if there's anything we can do for you, we are your independent travel advisor. Our services are 100% free, so why wouldn't you use us? Where's WalterTravel.com? There are links down in the description. Peter is at Cruise RX. Make sure you subscribe to him for all of the news and views and everything. You're doing a great job, Peter.
Thank you. And nobody say anything about the UFO story. I will deny it if asked.
Okay. There you go. So a story for another day. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. on TikTok and YouTube. And of course, next Thursday night, I believe we have another one of our land tour partners coming back. So Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you, everybody.
See you soon.